you something, my sister. If your man was paying in the beginning, the minute they stop and you have to take over, that money is going somewhere else. Again, the money never left. The money is there. The salary is still the same. So where is that salary going? Because the thing is, once you come across as somebody who compromises a lot, somebody who is like a responsible woman, and then you make sure that you fill in the gaps where the man is leaving the loopholes. Let me tell you something, that money for those loopholes is going somewhere else. It's going somewhere else. And when I speak about these things, I know when you hate men so much. Well, it's fine, I can hate them. You are hateable if I'm hating on you. Hey everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Perseverance Maremeni, also known as Madam Speaker. If you're joining in for the first time, please do hit the subscribe button. Please also hit the bell, like, comment, and share. You are welcome to the family. You see the issue of women single-handedly taking care of households because men are just spectators, because we are covering up for them. We made it known to them that I am more than willing to cover up for you for the sake of a perfect family. I am more than willing to cover up so that we can look happy. So the minute you show a man that you want to cover up for the sake of perfection, then he literally just lets go of everything because you are here. Because a man can see your desperation from a mile away. A man can see that you're going to do anything, you're going to do whatever it takes for a relationship to work out. So at the end of the day, when he sees that you are willing to go, he's going to end up dropping. Then you go all the way alone. And at the end of the day, the very same man will be posting on Facebook saying, women are gold diggers, women just want money, women just this and that, while he knows that he's not doing any work, while he knows that when as a woman, you are doing everything for him, simply because you are what? Desperate. Our grandmothers didn't have a choice. Our grandmothers were raised in an environment where they know that a woman must work hard. That is why every time when I speak about a Proverbs 31 woman, a Proverbs 31 woman is a woman who's willing to do all of that work. But our grandmothers were never given an ultimatum. That is why when they were married off without their consent. So at the end of the day, when they had to go and get married and enslave themselves in those marriages, they did them without their consent. So at the end of the day, when you've been married off without your consent and you've been enslaved without your consent, that man doesn't see you as anything. And because you have nowhere to go, you will just sit there and work hard and enslave yourself. So in as much as we want to speak about how women are gold diggers, women just want money from men, we all know that from way back, our grandmothers have been enslaved to take care of families while their husbands were out in Joburg. Our grandmothers had to single-handedly take care of their kids and their in-laws and just wake up at 4 o'clock and wash and cook and just be slaves. When you are married, when you are a wife in the olden days, you are literally a slave. Because what you came there to do is to bear children, to work. You bear children, you work. So the generation of working hard, the generation of women who are providing for men or who are providing for families or who are standing in the gap that the men have left is not starting with us. When you go out with your husband and you give him your card and you say, my husband, pay. When you go out with your husband and your husband is paying with your card as if he's the one who is paying, remember that it goes all the way back. It's a subconscious thing to give men power that they didn't work hard for. It's a subconscious thing that you were raised with because you grow up in an environment where women will do whatever it takes for a marriage to work, whether it's painful or not. And at the end of the day, because you are doing it so much, and every man, if men who comment on my videos, those who don't know that I'm divorced, they say with that kind of attitude, you'll never get married. With that kind of attitude, nobody will ever marry you. They don't understand that you are not trying to buy somebody to marry you by being nice. Men think that they're the ultimate goal, they're the ultimate prize. So we as women will do whatever it takes to just get one man to marry us. So at the end of the day, you will enslave yourself so much to try and cover up. You will buy food, you will buy every single thing in the household just to cover up for that man so that when visitors come, they don't know that he's actually not doing anything in the house. You are the one who is doing everything alone. That is why maintenance courts are flooded with men, natural born providers. Maintenance courts are flooded. If you go there and check who's sending who to maintenance court more, More than us divorced people. The people who are there on a daily basis taking people to maintenance court. It's wives taking their husbands to maintenance court because husbands are failing to provide as natural born providers. And then you come and you say, no, women are gold diggers. Women are gold diggers at good party. Because when they get there, men are buying alcohol for them. That's the only place where you will actually find a man doing things for a woman willingly. At parties, they'll buy them alcohol, that is it. The very same woman that you are buying alcohol for in a tavern, if you take her and you marry her and you put her at home, she's going to have to start fending for you and your kids while you're buying more people alcohol in the tavern. And that's the truth of the matter. And that is something that people are embarrassed to speak about. They're embarrassed. Really, they should be embarrassed. It's embarrassing. For you as a man who claims to be a provider, a man of the house, a head of the house, who can't even buy bread for your kids. And you don't even want something like this to be spoken about because our issues are ours alone. We must not discuss our business with other people because you don't want your women to expose you of this embarrassing act. And at the end of the day, you say women are gold diggers. Hey, women love money. Which money? Where is the money? Because your wives are struggling. Your wives have to go through the maintenance court for you to actually just pay school fees for kids. In the same breath, women are beating up men like nobody's business. And nobody's saying anything about it. Because it's an embarrassing thing. We all know. We all laugh at a man down the street who every time when they walk past, they're like, this one, when he gets home, the woman is going to beat him up. This one is married to a Mike Tyson of a woman. But we never speak about that. The fact that men are being abused is not a secret. And it must be spoken about. So these two narratives, that only women are being abused, number one. Number two, that men are providers, women are gold diggers. They belong to the dogs. They belong to the dogs. And I would just like to recap and say, ladies, you don't have to do things which are painful for you simply because you're trying to prove to yourself and to other people that you are capable of making a relationship work. Because a man can smell your desperation from a mile away. A man can sense your desperation from a mile away. And the more you cry for the same thing, it's the more he does that because he can smell that you're desperate for this relationship to work. Let me tell you something. Your man already knows what you like and what you don't like. Your man already knows that you like flowers, but he's not going to buy them. Because he doesn't have to buy them. He doesn't have to impress you. Because you have reached a stage of desperation in your relationship, in your marriage, where you are willing to do whatever it takes for the relationship to work. The minute you start following your men's side chicks, yeah, protect, yeah, stay away from my husband, yeah, this and that, that's when he knows that now I don't have to put in any work anymore. I'm done here. My work here is done. I got her. Now she can just enslave herself for me. So in all honesty, as women, we are still being enslaved the same way that our grandparents were being enslaved. But the difference between us and our grandparents is that our grandparents were enslaved without their consent, and we are voluntarily putting ourselves in our grandmother's shoes and allowing men to enslave us. And it's not a crime. It's not a crime until you have to die and your kids are left alone. It's not a crime until you have to end up in a psychiatric ward because of stress and depression. It is not a crime. I'm killing men. How am I killing men? How am I killing men? Because I'm telling you the truth. My brother, can I ask you something on this life? The household where you grew up, how was your mother? Was she not fending for you and your siblings? Where was your father? Was he taking care of the needs 100%? Did you ever sit down, my brother, and speak to your grandmother and ask her, how was it being married to my grandfather? Did you ever sit down with your grandmother and you ask her, how was it nice? How was your marriage? Did you ever do that? But the things that I'm speaking about, it's nothing new. It's not something that you don't know. You know for a fact. Our grandmothers, they were single parents. They were widows while their husbands were still alive. They took care of households alone. So I don't even understand when men are supposed to be, providers. What are they providing? A sperm? What else? What else? Man is the head of a house. The man is heading a house. There's not even a single decision which is sound that man can make. What do you call that? What do you call that? Like a lot of you here who are on this live, you can attest that if there's a house at your home, your mother built that house. Your mother's blood, sweat, and tears built that house. For anything to be bought in the house, you know that your mother takes care of business. Your father has got 200 kids out there. Your father gets paid today, he's broke, he asks for money from your mother. Most of you who are here, you know these things. You know these things, but you're not going to talk about them because you are waiting for Madam Speaker to speak about them because she's the bitter one. She's the one who must just be on the spotlight of being bitter and angry and must heal. But we know, all of us who are here, we know. If it's not your parents, it's your auntie and uncle, we know that your uncle is just a plus one. Your auntie is doing everything. Your uncle is working, but he's not helping your auntie with anything. We know them. We know them. So with that being said, guys, that is just the long and the short of it. My grandmother told me it's useless to get married. They know. The difference between me and your grandmothers is that your grandmothers, we're not speaking openly like the way that I'm doing. But everything that I'm saying right now, it's nothing new to them. You don't owe anybody a perfect relationship. You don't owe anybody a perfect marriage. You don't owe anybody a 5-year contract of a relationship to say you are actually able to keep a stable relationship and make it work. You don't owe anybody any of that. If it's not working, it's not working. If you are being enslaved, you go. And this thing of men always saying, hey, with that kind of attitude, you will never get a woman. Go get one that will be tolerating. Go get one that will be enslaved by you. It's fine. I mean, I'm not called for men. That is why even their comments don't get to me. I mean, I'm called for women. Yes. I'm called to pick up my sisters with me so that they never make the same mistakes that I made. Because mentally, it's not everybody who can handle everything that I handled. So I will make sure that from my experiences, nobody ever has to go through what. If you just have an encounter with me, you will never go through what I went through. I'm telling you, I will make sure I dish it to you fresh and hot. Even when it's painful, I will dish it. So that when you go and you say I do, you know that, oh, that girl from the villages of Mashamba, she told me and I didn't listen. You know, but I always wish people the best, and I always want people to get married for the right reasons and make the best decisions and not compromise and not settle for sherbet.